I'm very bored. I'm very hungry. I'm in a new house. It's been 3 years. It's time for apathetic cooking. I've got steak that's been dry brining for like 6 hours. Potatoes that I have cooked in baking soda basic water so that they are sort of fluffy but crumbly on the outside, which I'm going to roast in this oil that I've sort of imbued with the essence of garlic. It's very garlicky. Yummy. Yum, yum, yum. It's also gonna have eggs and spinach. First thing is to coat and toss the cooked potato in the garlicky oil. So I'm just gonna sort of smear that around with my hands. I have washed my hands, but it's kind of slimy, kind of gross. Yeah, I've got very oily hands now. You want to space them out so that the potatoes all have some room around them so that they can get all crispy and don't just sort of stay humid because of each other's steam that they're releasing. Just mess around with them until it looks vaguely right, I guess. Then you're going to want to salt and pepper them. I like a lot of pepper, and I have got around the only being able to use one hand thing by just pausing the video. Then you want to go back in time like 15 minutes and preheat the oven so that you can bang these bad boys in. I can't open the oven with my foot. Oh no. You want to go basically as hot as your oven can go. I'm putting it in at like 250 degrees. And that's gonna be in there for about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. You really just have to keep an eye on it and make sure it gets as crispy as possible without drying out or burning. Midway through cooking the potatoes, you want to take them out, hear the glorious sizzling sound, and you just want to take them out and you know toss them around a bit. Gotta close the oven so it stays hot, you know. Otherwise, when you put it back in, it's not going to be as hot. Then when it looks like you've done basically, I still can't open the oven with my feet. Oh no, oh no. Alright, when it looks like you've done basically nothing, you just put it back in the oven. This is my new oven. It's very good. I love this oven more than a child. Even more than Julia Childs, the cook woman from the show in like the 60s. But the movie about her was pretty good. So to dry brine steaks, you basically just leave them out on the counter so that they become warm, and just put salt on them and then pat them down with a paper towel whenever they look kind of wet-ish. I'm cooking them in this cast iron pan, so you're gonna need to just slowly bring the pan up to temperature so it doesn't damage it. Check that the flame is on, and then yeah, you're just gonna want to get that quite hot and then put oil in it. One way to check if the pan is hot enough is putting a drop of water on it and see if it's like boils. That's probably not quite hot enough yet. It needs to boil quicker than that. One thing I like about cast iron pans is that they get seasoned, which just means that there's goop from everything else you've basically ever cooked sort of stuck on them. That makes it taste good. I'm gonna put like a fair amount of canola oil in. Canola oil is good because it has a high smoke point. That's the point at which the oil is quite hot but isn't just yet about to set on fire. You want to avoid setting it on fire, but you want it to be hot. I have no idea whether you can see it or not, but there's tiny wisps of smoke coming off the pan, which means that it's about ready to put the steak in. I'm gonna get this big steak, I'm gonna lay him down and then press him down with this metal spatula. I don't really have a good way of describing how to tell if a steak is done. I basically just scorch one side of it until it's crispy, turn it over, and then pray and hope. When you think one side's done, you just stick a thermometer in it to turn it over. That's only if you are doing it one-handed though, otherwise the thermometer doesn't help at all. Alright, when the other side's done, you want to turn it down pretty much to the lowest setting, and then you're going to want to start basting it, which just means putting butter in all over it, and just, you know, yeah, putting butter in really. That's what basting is just butter. Then when it's done and looking basted and delicious, you get out your trusty thermometer again to take it out of the pan and put it on a chopping board to rest. Time for the next steak. Keen-eyed viewers have been writing into the show saying that when I was basting this first steak, I used an extra hand, and that's because I asked for Sophia's hand. In marriage, no, not really, but that would be a funny way to propose. To go with the steak, I'm making some lacy eggs, so you just put like a huge amount of olive oil in a pan and then let that get quite hot. And then realize that the potatoes are done, so you take the potatoes out. They're probably a bit over crispy, but what does over crispy really even mean? It means that they're overcooked and that I should have taken them out earlier. Once the olive oil's got to smoke point, you want to crack an egg in. It'll start bubbling wildly, but then those bubbles will pop and become lacy, nice crispy bits. You can help it though. I like to use chopsticks for this, both when I'm cooking one-handed and two-handed. You can also, of course, use the mop sticks, but I find the chopsticks work better. Now that it's gotten quite lacy, I just flip it over and then only let it sit on that side for a moment. It goes a bit crazy when you do this. After that, I'm just going to take that out and move on to the next egg. I saved the garlic from when I made the garlic oil, and I'm just going to put that in with the overcooked potatoes because they're of a similar, way too crunchy texture. Alright, this egg's starting to get adequately lacy. I'll probably just skip cooking the extra 2 eggs, but you get the picture now. By skip cooking, I did mean skip videoing me cooking, but maybe I'm just not allowed to eat these last 2 eggs because I said I wouldn't cook them. Or I could eat them more. Finally, I've got some frozen spinach that I'm just going to cook in the oil from the eggs. Now I'm going to baste this spinach, but basting meaning my previous definition I established, which is just adding a huge amount of butter to just do the spinach, you know. Maybe I'll add some pepper, but I also can't do that with one hand again, so I'm gonna... And also Sophia won't talk to me after I pranked her with our proposal thing. So I'll do that off video. Looking spinachy. These dumplings just appeared. They're not to do with my meal. I think my roommate just like manifested them. Alright, I'm gonna chop the steak up into nice pieces. Oh, wow, done. So sharp, this knife, that I made all those... Okay, I had to hold the steak, alright? I couldn't... I wish I had 3 hands, alright? Oh, it worked. I think I was betrayed by the chopping board moving a bit there, because otherwise that would have been seamless. Probably the reason why I talked bad about Julia Child earlier was because she's very unapathetic, which just goes against my whole cooking ideology. Just to finish it off, I just put some of this like goop that's mostly butter and oil and bits of steak on it. Of course, you've got to have the tea. Wow, I just absolutely missed the side of the cup there for a second. This is a new container, so look, just stop judging me, alright? Hope you enjoyed.